speaking of making people pay,
Oh man, real world topics right here. I
real
always
world
know.
topic here. This is about the game industry and their united reactions to cut off operations and business in Russia as the Russian-Ukraine conflict continues on. So, um, there's been several companies that have done it. Xbox has done it. Sony recently announced that they're doing it, that they're suspending sales and business in Russia, and they're also making, I believe it was a $2 million donation to some like international humanitarian refugee organization that helps with those kinds of things. Ubisoft has announced they're suspending sales. Nintendo no longer processing sales and stuff in the eShop that are from Russia. There's other places that have suspended what they're doing as well. Let's see, Electronic Arts, Activision Blizzard, they're cutting off game sales and stuff in Russia as this wages on. So obviously, this is a very small and insignificant component within the greater topic or issue at hand. But just want to get your guys' impressions on the game industry cutting off Russian citizens from being able to play some and buy some games as they're no doubt dealing with some fallout from the conflict as well.
David.
Okay, so honestly, like I get it, but like this is just mostly hurting the civilians of Russia. Like the higher ups and everything, they they don't care. They probably don't even play video games. And then like also to step out of the video games, like Starbucks, MasterCard, McDonald's, like they're all pulling out of Russia, shutting down every store, blah blah blah. They almost have no way to pay for anything. Their currency is almost worthless. Their 1 ruble isn't even worth a cent anymore. This just it's just their society is crumbling, and the higher ups don't care because they have everything they need. They don't need they have the land that they need. They have their money set aside that's not in the banks or whatever. This isn't affecting them at all. Everyone's just mostly hurting the civilians, I think. And I think it's trying to maybe get them to revolt or stop their military, but what are they going to do? They were getting arrested just for protesting. I don't know. I see they're doing the right thing, but it's the wrong thing. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a super heavy topic that I'm not at all qualified to talk about, but I'll try. Um, so obviously, the Russian citizens didn't declare war on Ukraine. I don't know if any of them even support it. I'm sure they don't because, as David just mentioned, their society is now crumbling, and that's horrible for them. And obviously, it's a lot worse for the Ukrainian citizens who are actually having to deal with all this. Um, but every small step helps. Like I know it hurts the citizens, but they'll get sick of that and it'll come back on the government. And eventually the government has to listen to the people or something like a revolution will happen. So if enough citizens are like, hey, this really blows, we don't want this anymore. This is not anything we support. We want you to pull out. Putin, has two choices: either listen and regain the respect of his citizens and hopefully, keep being their leader, or not listen. And then he's fighting a war with the world and he's fighting, a war with his own citizens. I guess, I guess that's the theory. Every little bit helps. And, Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony's not going to end this, but everyone coming together, including all the countries with all the sanctions, maybe that's enough for Russia to be like, man, this really isn't worth all the trouble. And I guess that's what they're going for.
Well said. Um, Very well said. I think this makes no sense to me. Um, I understand it in logic. Hey, we're going to show solidarity, but David, like you said, all it does is just hurt the Russian citizens who are being at large debanked, are having their financial stability ruined. due to the actions of their government, but not because they told their government to do it. I believe a large segment, maybe most of Russian people, don't want this to happen. You're going to, have some portion that are pro-war, but there's going to be some portion of every population that's going to be pro-war.
Right.
And it's really, really weird. To do this in solidarity, I guess, to show that we're against war with the Ukraine. I mean, if they had any real gumption behind this, they would cut off sales to Saudi Arabia for Yemen. They would cut off sales in the United States for its various things of Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, anything like that, and that just didn't pop up. So it's really, really weird.
We should probably just move on.
But hey, it's something they got to do. So that's the game industry making a stance, taking an action. So good for them. Good for them. Be really great if they set up the China like that. Anyway,